Russia, am I right? Well, they so Russian, bro. They always rushing around and stuff. Like, why they do that? My second question is, where they get all their power from? Well, you see, Russia, before Russia became Russia, the Mongols were in charge of probably the southern part of Russia. And as time continued, the Mongol Empire fell, the Muscovy took control of that part of Russia and got rid of the rest of the Mongols, and now Muscovies control that part of Russia. And then out of the Muscovy, Ivan the Terrible comes and helps the Muscovy push out the rest of the Mongols that had parts of Russia. And then Ivan the Terrible becomes the first Tsar and gains all the power and tries to centralize all of the power in, let's say, that part of Russia right now. And then as he gains power, boyars, aka the nobles of Russia, come and the nobles don't really like Ivan, so they end up poisoning his wife, and he didn't like that, so he ended up killing not only the nobles' families, aka the boyars, but he ended up killing many peasants and people of Russia, and that's how he got the name Ivan the Terrible.
See, things didn't go well after the death of Ivan the Terrible. Even though he was unliked, you would think that things would be great, right? Not so much. This led to a time called the Time of Troubles. Basically, this is the time where boyars fought to find the next ruler of Russia, and there were numerous peasant revolts against, the higher officials. This ended the end of the Muscovy era, and eventually this started the Romanov period. And out of that, Peter the Great.
Out of the Romanov dynasty came one of Russia's most loved Tsars, and that Tsar was Peter the Great. During Peter's rule, he noticed that Russia lacked in technological and economic features when compared to Europe. So, after a visit to Europe, he brought back many ideas to help with the Westernization of Russia. During the Westernization of Russia, potatoes were introduced, women's status improved, education was implemented, encouraging and even forcing Russians to visit foreign lands and bring back cultural ideas to help improve Russia, and the military was improved. During Peter's rule, one of his greatest accomplishments was the establishment of the Table of Ranks, which benefited those in the lower class. Before the Table of Ranks, government positions were given to those in a bloodline of nobles or boyars, and it didn't matter about their intellect or knowledge about the position they were in. The Table of Ranks gave those in the lower class to prove themselves by progression in works to be able to earn a status and job. Peter also built St. Petersburg as a way to increase commercial interest because of its ability to access waterways to trade. So he traded with many European countries around Russia. During the building of St. Petersburg, 25,000 to 100,000 serfs were killed during the construction of it, and Peter forced the nobles to come live with him, like Louis XIV. Lastly, Peter improved Russia's military by hiring military officials from Europe to train the Russians, and by 1725, Russia had an army of 200,000 soldiers, and they weren't to be messed with, that's for sure. Well, thank you, and that was how Russia became the Russians that we know and love today.